Imagine being chosen for a mission so profound, so devastating, that it would tear your soul apart. A mission to speak truth to power, to warn a beloved nation of its impending doom, knowing with absolute certainty they would never listen, and then to witness every single one of your heart-wrenching predictions come true. This is the story of a man whose tears became his legacy. They called him the Weeping Prophet. His name was Jeremiah, born into a priestly family in the humble town of Anathoth, just a few miles from the grandeur of Jerusalem. But his life, far from the quiet dignity of priestly service, was destined to become a living, breathing lament. Jeremiah arrived on the stage of history at perhaps the worst possible moment for the southern kingdom of Judah. The Assyrian Empire, once a brutal overlord, was crumbling. In its place, two new giants were rising, Egypt to the southwest and the formidable Babylon to the east. Judah found itself a tiny, vulnerable pawn in a deadly game of empires. Yet the true threat wasn't external. It was internal. Decades of spiritual backsliding, of chasing after foreign gods, of blatant social injustice had hollowed out the nation's soul. It was against this backdrop of political instability and spiritual decay that God called a young Jeremiah, probably still a teenager, to become his voice. Imagine the scene: a quiet moment, a divine encounter, and a terrifying mandate. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you," God declared. "Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." Jeremiah's response: human, all too human. "Ah, sovereign Lord," he pleaded, "I do not know how to speak. I am too young." It was a protest, a wrestling with an overwhelming destiny. But God's answer was resolute. "Do not say, 'I am too young.' You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue you." With a touch to his lips, God sealed Jeremiah's fate, placing words of both destruction and deliverance into his mouth. Jeremiah's early messages were like a surgeon's scalpel, cutting to the corrupted heart of Judah. He condemned their rampant idolatry, their casual betrayal of the covenant with God. "Has a nation changed its gods?" he cried. "Yet my people have exchanged their glorious God for worthless idols." He painted vivid, often shocking word pictures. Judah as a faithless wife, a wild donkey in heat, a stubborn vine, a dirty loincloth hidden in the ground to become utterly worthless. He warned of social injustice, the rich oppressing the poor, the powerful exploiting the vulnerable. His words were a desperate plea for repentance, a fervent call to return to the Lord. But his passionate warnings were met with deafening silence, or worse, outright hostility. Jeremiah's ministry began under the pious King Josiah, who initiated significant reforms, attempting to turn the nation back to God. For a brief period, there was a glimmer of hope. But after Josiah's tragic death, Judah plunged back into spiritual darkness, fast-tracking its own destruction. King Jehoiakim, a man of luxury and self-indulgence, became Jeremiah's chief antagonist. In a powerful act of defiance, after Jeremiah dictated all his prophecies to his faithful scribe Baruch, the scroll was brought before Jehoiakim. The king, with chilling contempt, cut it into pieces with a scribe's knife and tossed it into a burning brazier, piece by piece. This wasn't just burning a document, it was a brazen rejection of God's very word, a fiery symbol of Judah's hardened heart. Jeremiah had to dictate the entire message again, with added warnings. Adding to Jeremiah's immense burden was the constant battle against false prophets. These were popular figures, often embedded in the temple, who told the people what they wanted to hear. Peace, peace, when there was no peace. They promised prosperity and safety, even as Babylon's shadow loomed large. One such prophet, Hananiah, publicly challenged Jeremiah, breaking a wooden yoke from Jeremiah's neck, declaring that God would break Babylon's yoke. Jeremiah, under divine instruction, responded by predicting Hananiah's death, a prophecy that soon came to pass. The allure of comfortable lies, however, proved stronger than Jeremiah's inconvenient truth. These false prophets solidified the people's resistance, making Jeremiah an even more isolated and hated figure. He wasn't just rejected, he was reviled. His own family, from his hometown of Anathoth, even plotted against his life. His life became a relentless ordeal of suffering and loneliness. He was beaten and put in the stocks. He was accused of treason and thrown into prison. At one point, princes, exasperated by his unwavering warnings, had him thrown into a deep, muddy cistern, leaving him to sink and die. If not for the intervention of an Ethiopian eunuch, Ebed-Melech, Jeremiah would have perished there. God had even forbidden him to marry or have children, sparing him the pain of seeing his own family endure the coming devastation, but deepening his personal isolation. It was during these darkest moments that Jeremiah uttered what are often called his confessions, raw, unfiltered cries to God. "Cursed be the day I was born," he lamented. "Why did I ever come out of the womb to see trouble and sorrow and to end my days in shame?" He even accused God of deceiving him, of overpowering him. These weren't the words of a perfect stoic prophet, but of a deeply human soul pushed to its absolute breaking point. It's impossible to truly grasp the weight of Jeremiah's existence without acknowledging the immense emotional and spiritual cost of his calling. He was a man called to love a people who consistently hated him, to deliver a message that brought him only pain. His faithfulness didn't yield immediate success. It yielded decades of heartbreak. So, what do you think sustained Jeremiah through this unimaginable ordeal? What allows any of us to persevere when our convictions are met with rejection, or when the world seems to be unraveling? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Your insights help build a richer understanding for us all. Despite his suffering, Jeremiah continued to prophesy, even from prison. King Zedekiah, the last king of Judah, was a tragic figure. Weak and vacillating, he would secretly seek Jeremiah's counsel, yet lacked the courage to obey God's command to surrender to Babylon and save Jerusalem from total destruction. The prophecies became a grim reality. Babylon's vast armies surrounded Jerusalem. The siege was brutal, marked by famine and unimaginable suffering. Jeremiah's message remained consistent: surrender and live. It was an unpopular message seen as unpatriotic, yet it was God's path to preserving life. But the people, led by their stubborn kings and false hopes, refused. In 586 BC, after a devastating siege, Jerusalem's walls were breached. The city, the temple, the very heart of Jewish identity, was laid waste. Fire consumed its grandeur. The people were slaughtered or marched off in chains to Babylon. But even amidst this cataclysmic destruction, a moment of profound, almost defiant hope emerged. While still imprisoned with Babylon's armies at the gates, God commanded Jeremiah to buy a field in Anathoth from his cousin Hanamel. From a human perspective, it was an absurd act. Why buy land in a city about to be utterly destroyed? Yet Jeremiah understood the divine symbolism. He bought the field, signed the deed, and declared, "For this is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says: houses, fields, and vineyards will again be bought in this land." It was a powerful, tangible testament to God's ultimate promise of restoration, a future beyond the present desolation. Jeremiah, the prophet of judgment, was also the prophet of ultimate hope. Even to the first wave of exiles already in Babylon, he sent a letter with a message that resonates even today. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." But his most revolutionary message was the prophecy of a new covenant. He declared a future where God would establish a new agreement, not written on tablets of stone, but on the hearts of his people. A covenant where all would know God directly, and their sins would be forgiven. This was a radical vision of intimacy and grace, a promise that far transcended the immediate suffering and pointed directly to the coming of Jesus Christ, the fulfillment of this new covenant. After the fall of Jerusalem, Jeremiah was given a choice to remain in Judah, protected by the Babylonian governor. But when the governor was assassinated, Jewish rebels, fearing Babylonian retaliation, forcibly took Jeremiah and Baruch to Egypt against their will. The Bible doesn't record the exact circumstances of his death, but tradition suggests he died in Egypt, possibly even martyred by the very people he sought to save. Jeremiah lived a life of profound tribulation, a testament to unwavering faithfulness in the face of overwhelming opposition. He saw no widespread repentance, no grand success in his lifetime, only the fulfillment of his warnings. Yet, his words endured. His story, his tears, and his prophecies continue to speak across millennia, reminding us of the cost of truth, the resilience of faith, and God's enduring promise of hope, even when all seems lost. The story of Jeremiah is a powerful, often uncomfortable reminder that faithfulness isn't always met with applause or immediate results. It's a testament to enduring hardship, carrying burdens, and speaking truth when no one wants to hear it. But it also reveals the profound, unbreakable hope found in God's promises, a hope that transcends even the darkest despair. If Jeremiah's journey has stirred something in your heart, if you found value in understanding the depths of his agony and the heights of his hope, please take a moment to like this video. Your engagement helps these vital stories reach more people. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the lives and lessons of biblical figures.